Welcome to Tax Teach. Today I'm going to go over what the child tax credit is. I want to give an overview of the credit, how much the credit is, what you need to qualify for the tax credit, and a couple other things about the credit so that you know more about this common tax credit that you can take on your tax return. You might be asking, why does the government give a child tax credit? The government is trying to help families and individuals who are raising children, help with some of that financial burden that comes with raising children by providing a tax credit. The government, when they have tax credits, it's usually to incentivize certain activities, and one of those is to have children. More children equals more taxpayers, so the government always is trying to incentivize the activity of raising children or having children. In order to take the child tax credit, there are some criteria that you need to meet in order to have a qualifying child that's eligible for the credit. I'm going to go over those criteria now. Here is a list of the criteria that you need to meet in order to have a qualifying child where you can take the child tax credit. I'm not going to go over all these criteria. The things you should think of off the bat is your child has to be under the age of 17. They have to have a relationship like son, daughter, stepchild, a couple other relationships that are similar to this. You need to be providing a good amount of support. The child needs to be living with you at least half the year. You need to be providing support for at least half the year. And you can see there's a couple other criteria that needs to be met. Just know that you have to have a qualifying child, and that means meeting this criteria, and then you might be able to take the child tax credit. When it comes to the amount of child tax credit that you can receive, a taxpayer can receive up to $2,000 per qualifying child. If you don't have a qualifying child, you might have a qualifying dependent, and you can get up to $500 of that tax credit. The child tax credit is a refundable credit, and what I mean by that is credits can either be refundable or non-refundable. A non-refundable credit is whatever taxes you owe, your credit can only offset taxes that you owe. So if you owe zero taxes and you have a non-refundable credit, you're not going to get any tax credit from that. Now, a refundable tax credit is if you have zero taxes that you owe, the government will pay you money even though you don't owe any taxes. In the case of a child tax credit, that's up to $1,600 for 2023. The child tax credit does have some income limitations. If your modified adjusted gross income is above $200,000 for a single taxpayer, or $400,000 if you're married filing jointly, the amount of child tax credit that you can get gets reduced as your income goes above that threshold. So keep in mind, if you're a single taxpayer and your modified adjusted gross income is above $200,000, or if you're married filing jointly and your modified adjusted gross income is above $400,000, the amount of credit you can take starts going down until you reach a certain limit. Right now is a table showing that the limitation as you have more income, the limitation of the amount of child tax credit you can receive. In order to receive the child tax credit, you have to prepare your tax return, your Form 1040, and there's a schedule on your Form 1040, Schedule 8812, and that's your child tax credit schedule. You'll have to complete this in order to take the child tax credit for that tax year. Another credit people might think of when they think of the child tax credit is a child and dependent care credit. This is a whole different kind of credit that I'm not going to go into, but this credit is for people who, both spouses work and they have to have their child go to daycare or some other place to take care of their child as they work. Now, these expenses that you pay to a daycare or some other kind of facility to take care of your children when you work, these amounts you might be able to take a tax credit on, the child and dependent care credit. Just know that if you are eligible for the child tax credit, you might be eligible also to receive a child and dependent care credit. That's a whole different video that I can make in the future. But just know if you pay expenses to take care of your children when you're out working, you might be eligible for that credit. We've come to the end of the video. I hope you all found this video informative, me going over what the child tax credit is. The whole goal of this video was just give a brief overview of what the credit is, and so that when somebody mentions it to you or when you're preparing your tax return, you see that you have at least an entry-level knowledge of what the child the child tax credit is. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, hit the like button. It lets me know that I'm creating good videos for y'all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.